Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Sakleen. Today, what are we going to do? Safia?
Balance and unbalance.
Is it?
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning, Farhana.
Device.
Yes.
Good morning, ma'am.
Yes. Yamuni, good morning. What did we decide in the last class? We had to revise, right? Okay. How many of you are giving science paper? Are you giving? Safia?
Ma'am, I'm giving, ma'am.
Munib is giving. Who else?
Ma'am, I'm also giving.
Farhana. Then?
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning, Abdullah. Sakleen, you have not yet decided. Okay. And what about Abdullah?
Yes, ma'am. I will also give.
Okay. See, the most scoring subjects, if you are good in that subject, then it is maths. Okay, because you can get full marks also. In science also, you can get full marks. Okay, in higher classes also. Like usually in languages we don't get, or in history, or in so usually in those subjects we don't get full marks. But these are the scoring subjects. Maths and science usually are the scoring subjects. Even I think accounts also, you can score well in accounts also. Okay, so everyone has joined.
Ma'am, what chapter is coming in science, ma'am?
I told you in the class, electricity,
Yes.
and I have sent a message on Google Classroom also. Okay, if you forget, it is there on Google Classroom. Whole electricity chapter is there. Today we'll just brush up the topics that we have done because we cannot go in detail again. We have already done everything. So what topics are important and what you should study in electricity, that we'll do today.
Ma'am,
Okay.
only Humaira and Amna are not there.
Only Humaira is not joined. Who else is not there?
Amina is also not.
Amna is also not. Amina and Humaira are not there.
Okay, let them join. Let us start with our class because then we'll not be able to complete it
Yeah, ma'am.
in class. Okay, so we'll just start with our revision on electricity. You know, electricity is divided into two main branches. What are the two main parts of electricity?
Static electricity
See?
and
Static electricity and two parts are there, right? And
electrical.
current electricity. Okay, static and current electricity. There is one more term which is electromagnetism. So that is also there, but we have not done that. So you just remember for now, it is static electricity and current electricity. What have we done in static electricity? Static electricity. Yeah, tell. Farhana, what is static electricity? Charges. Static means, what is static? Static means stationary, right? So what is static in static electricity?
Ma'am, like cars and trucks moving.
No, static means charges are static. Charges reside on the surface. Charges do not move. They accumulate on the object. So depending on what type of charge is there on the object, that object is called as positively charged or negatively charged. Okay. If excess of positive charge is there, then it is called as positively charged. If excess of negative charge is there, it is called as negative charge. Okay.
Charge on an object.
Charge on an object. And you know that current electricity is
the moving of electrons.
Correct. So it is movement of electron is there. So that is why it is current electricity. Because current will come only when there is motion of electron taking place, and that too ordered motion. Okay. So motion will be from now here.
Positive pole to negative pole.
Current comes from positive to negative pole, but electrons moves in opposite direction, negative to positive. Okay, current moves from positive to negative, but electrons move from negative to positive. You can remember that electrons are negatively charged. So that is why your cell or battery has negative terminal which has got excess electrons. So that is why electrons move from negative to positive, but current moves from positive.
Positive to negative.
Always remember this one. Okay, coming to static electricity, we have done some activities like rubbing of comb with hair, rubbing of comb with balloon, rubbing on the wall. So why do we do these things? By rubbing, the objects get charged. How charging takes place? Because of friction. You know, friction produces heat, and heat gives you heat energy. So because of that heat energy, what happens? You know that any positive or negative charge has got a field around it. That is why the force existing between the charges is called as electrostatic force, and also called as field force. You remember when we were doing forces, field forces and non-contact forces and contact forces. So this is your static electricity. So force in charges are field forces or non-contact force. Why? Because at a distance only they attract or repel each other. Now what happens over here? Anybody can explain this? What is happening to atoms getting rubbed, and after rubbing what happens because of friction? Can you explain, Abdullah? When two atoms or two substance, when you are rubbing, what happens? How
They get charged
Yeah, they get charged. How they get charged?
because the friction causes heat.
Yeah, friction causes heat. So because of heat, what happens?
Ma'am, they become electrons and protons.
So atoms already have
They
this,
become charged.
they become charged. Atoms, see, these are two atoms. They have atoms have equal number of protons.
Ma'am, now they have
Ma'am.
electrons have negative charge and protons have positive charge.
These electrons are negative and protons are positive, and initially they have equal number of protons and equal number of electrons. Yes.
So because they have equal, but after rubbing them,
Yes.
one of them will go to the other, I think.
So what happens because of rubbing, they get energy, and that is why electron from the outermost shell of one atom jumps to the other atom. So now this atom has got excess of electron. So excess of electron means more negative charge. So this becomes negatively charged, and since yahan se electron has come to this atom, so this has got lesser number of negative charge and more positive charge. So this atom becomes positively charged. Now it is called as ion or positively charged ion, and this is negatively charged ion. So when you rub two objects, what happens? One object becomes positively charged and the other object becomes negatively charged. Okay. So this happens when you are rubbing balloon with hair. So balloon gets positive charge, hair gets negative charge. So both the objects are charged now after rubbing. But before that, both the objects were uncharged or neutral. Now see here, this example is charging by conduction. What happens? This is a sphere which is a charged sphere, already charged object. So if a conductor is in contact with a charged object, this also gets charged. So this girl's hair is charged, and that is why the strands are repelling each other and they get separated. Do you understand this picture? This sphere is
Yes,
already
ma'am.
charged. Okay. In charging due to friction में क्या होता था? In charging due to friction, earlier they were not charged, and because of rubbing, both of them attain charge. Now in charging by conduction mein, one object is charged, and when you touch this object or any uncharged object comes in contact with this, that object will also get the same type of charge. Okay, so this is called as charging by conduction. So two types of charging can take place: charging by conduction and charging by induction. Okay, Munib, tell me, what do you understand by insulators and conductors?
Ma'am, conductors are the one, ma'am, which allow material to flow through them. Electricity can flow through them, but ma'am,
Electricity to flow through them.
And insulators are the materials that do not allow electricity to flow through them.
Yes. Safia, can you tell me how conductors allow electricity to flow through them and insulators do not allow? What is the reason behind it? What is a change in arrangement or what is a change in structure?
Can you repeat the question?
See, I will say why conductors allow electricity to flow through them.
Because they are good conductors of electricity.
So why they are good conductors?
And
Sakle,
because they have freely moving electrons.
they have many free electrons in conductor, whereas in insulator insulator don't have free electrons. Okay, what are free electrons? Anybody remembers what are free electrons? Farhana? Free means the name is free. Mozzam, do you know what are free electrons?
I forgot.
Ma'am, it's like they just move here and there
Yeah, so why do they move? Because,
there's no current.
yes,
But when the current is
saying something?
that they are the electrons that can move freely.
So why they can move freely? Because they are loosely bound to the atom. You know that atom has got outermost electron, and those electrons come out of the atom but remain in the metal. Okay, so the outermost electron which come out of the atom but are free to move in the metal. Metal se bahar they will not come out, only they will remain in the metal, but they have come out of the atom. You know that a conductor consists of so many atoms bonded together. Now, when outermost electron comes out of the atom, it is free to move inside the conductor. So that is why those electrons are called as free electrons. Whereas in insulator, electrons do not come out of the atom. So that is why there is no free electron. Is it clear now? Mozam, do you remember now?
Yes, ma'am.
So free electrons are the electrons which are present in the outermost shell of the atom, and they come out of the atom, but they remain in the conductor. But in insulator, there are no free electrons because the electrons in the outermost shell do not come out of the atom. So that is why you don't have free electrons. Is it clear? Just now I showed you atom ka structure. This is your atom structure, right? So there are so many atoms. So suppose one electron has come out and it is free to move. So that electron is called as free electron. So in conductors, the outermost electron come out, whereas in insulator, they are very tightly bound to the nucleus. So that is why they do not come out of the atom. Is it clear? So that is why insulators do not have any free electrons, whereas conductors have free electrons. So if it is asked why conductors allow current to flow through them, why? Because there are many free electrons present in the conductor, whereas in insulators there are no free electrons. So that is why it does not allow electricity to flow through it or charge to flow through it. So you can see the concept map over here. Examples of insulator is plastic, dry wood, rubber, etc. And you don't have to study superconductors. So we just have insulators and conductors. So insulators have absence of free electrons, whereas conductors have presence of free electrons, means many free electrons are there. And what are conductors? They are substance through which charges flow easily or current flow easily. Okay, examples are copper, aluminium, all the metals are conductor. Okay, and conductor free electrons are held loosely by nuclei of their atom. So they are loosely bound electrons, so that is why they come out of the atom.
Ma'am?
Yeah.
Aluminium is a good conductor of heater, no?
Yes, metals are good conductor of heat also, good conductor of electricity also. Okay, why? Because heat transfer takes place because the atoms are very closely bound, and heat transfer takes place from one atom to another. So we are not doing heat, we are doing electricity right now.
Ma'am,
Yeah, Farhana. Yes, Amina.
Ma'am, in insulators there are no free electrons, or there are free electrons.
In insulators, there are no free electrons. So that is why there is no way to move. There is no path for charges to move. Okay. So that is why current does not pass through the insulator. You remember when I was doing that activity, when I was putting a wooden spoon between the wires, you see that the bulb did not glow. Okay. You saw that one bulb did not glow. So that is because there was no path and no free electron in the insulator. So basically the reason is the you can see the free electrons over here. So these free electrons are also called as delocalized electrons. You can say free electrons. So these free electrons are responsible for in conductors for charges to flow from one end to other end. Okay. You can see over here, this is there when there is no battery supply. You can see when there is no cell in the connected at the ends of the conductor. You see the free electrons, blue color is free electron. So free electrons are moving in all random direction. So there is no current because there is no ordered way of electrons moving in this conductor. So there will not be any current when there is no battery supply across the conductor. But when there is a battery supply, what happens? These electrons will move towards which side, Abdullah? If I supply a battery, positive I have connected here, negative I have connected here. So electrons will move towards which side?
Towards the
Positive.
positive terminal, ma'am.
Yes. Why? Why electrons will move?
Because
Because
electrons
electrons-
move from negative to positive.
No, you have to tell me. Electrons get attracted towards positive. Why? Why electrons move towards positive terminal of cell?
Because electrons are negatively charged.
Yes, because electrons are negatively charged, so they get attracted towards the positive terminal of battery. Why? Because opposite charge attract and same like charges repel. Okay, so when electron is moving towards the positive terminal, which direction current will move? Tell Amina. Electron is moving from negative terminal of cell to positive terminal. So which direction current will flow?
Can I say?
From positive to negative.
Yes, from positive to negative terminal of the battery or cell. So this is also very important. You have to know the symbols of all the electrical appliances because circuits might be asked to draw the circuit. Okay, draw a circuit with bulb, cell, switch, an ammeter and voltmeter. Okay, so you can draw this circuit. You don't draw this. We don't draw this in exam. We have to draw a circuit diagram. Whenever it is asked to draw a circuit, you have to draw a circuit. So this is open switch, this is closed switch, this is lamp, this is cell. You know difference between cell and battery?
If you ask light dependent resistor and thermistor, you'll ask all these.
No, this will not be asked, but it can be asked if the symbol is given, it can be asked what does it represent. You will not be asked to connect it in a circuit, but the symbol is given and they will ask you, or they will ask draw a circuit symbol of light dependent resistor. Okay, or symbol is given and it is asked what is it. Okay, now what is the difference between cell and battery, Saklen? Yes, Saklen, what is the difference between cell and battery? It's not audible. You're saying something?
Battery gives energy and cell.
This is similarity. Battery and cell both give energy. Munib, tell me, what is the difference? Here you can see the difference. Cell and battery. What is the difference?
Battery has more power than a cell, and one battery is made up of two cells.
More than one cell, you can say. Okay.
Yes.
Battery is
Cell
made
has
of more than one cell,
less.
and cell is only one cell. So more power in battery as compared to a cell. Yes, Safia, what are you saying?
Yes.
Battery has more volts than a cell.
So more power he has told, yeah, more voltage you can say. What is a voltmeter? What is a voltmeter?
Which measures voltage.
Yes, it
Yes.
measures voltage. This is a resistor. You can draw resistor like this also. You can draw a resistor like this also. You see, actually, this the box type is in IGCSE board. They draw a rectangle, but in India we usually draw it like this. This also we draw. Mostly in our schools, this is given like this. Okay? So that is why both the things you should know that it is a resistor only. This is a fuse. You connect it like this. It is a fuse. What is an ammeter, Amina?
It's a device that measures current.
Yes. So ammeter measures current. What is this? An arrow is there on the resistor. So what does it depict? It is a variable,
Variable
or you
resistor.
can say a rheostat also. Okay. This is a thermistor. This is a light dependent resistor.
Mom, the last two you haven't taught us, right?
Hey, this is not there in our syllabus, but you should know light with this arrow gives you light. Okay. And this is a resistor. So this
Mom,
arrow
all
shows
are not
that
there or only last three?
last, no, thermistor and light dependent resistor, we have not done how to use it in the circuit, but you should know the symbol of this.
Yes, ma'am.
Now you already know what is it. Open and closed circuit. How can you say a circuit is open and a circuit is closed?
With the help of their symbols, the
Yeah.
switch.
So what is it? It
It
is
is
not.
open.
Mom, with the help of the symbol of the switch.
So this is an open circuit. How can you say? Because the switch is open, the circuit is open. The switch is closed,
Because
the
the circuit is
closed.
closed.
So there is a continuous path for current to flow when it is a closed circuit, and when there is a discontinuity in the circuit, it is called as open circuit. Now, can you tell me what are these two circuits, Humaira? Can you tell me this? What is this and this?
What can I say?
Series circuit and parallel.
Yeah. So how can you differentiate between a series?
Can I say?
Yes, Amina, tell me. How can you differentiate
In
between
a series circuit, the same current passes through the resistance and
all the
comes
appliances?
back.
And in parallel, what happens?
And in parallel, the current is divided into two parts and it goes.
Current is divided.
There are two
And
loops.
what is same in parallel circuit? Farhana, what is same in parallel circuit?
Switch and plus and minus.
And the
There are
terminals are same.
What is
Like the wires are, the bulbs are connected with the same wires.
so same wires are same, but what else? See, like
only two
current is
bulbs.
same here, and
And two bulbs here and two bulbs there.
Voltage.
yes, voltage is same. Whatever battery voltage is there, see, it is connected directly. Both the bulbs are connected directly to the battery. So that is
And
why
there is one switch here and there
the
one.
switch is just to allow the current. Okay, both the switches are the same place.
And ma'am, in series circuit, if one bulb goes off,
Correct.
then the circuit is only broken.
Yes.
And ma'am, in parallel, if one bulb go on, the other are
Other will
lighting.
grow as it is.
Yes.
Okay. So that is the main and biggest advantage of parallel circuit. This is the most commonly asked question. Why parallel circuits are better than series circuit? So there are two advantages. One that you just now told Puni, that even if one appliance is faulty in parallel circuit, the other works as it is. And second one is both all the appliances in parallel circuit are at the same potential, whereas in series circuit the potential gets divided, voltage gets divided, potential or voltage, same thing, huh? So voltage gets divided, so because of which these two bulbs will not glow that brightly as it glows brightly in this parallel circuit. Okay, because there they have direct connection to the voltage. So two advantages for parallel circuit is one, so both of them are at same potential, and second, that even if one appliance
Goes
is
out, the
faulty,
other one is still blowing as it is.
will still be connected in the circuit, which doesn't happen in series circuit. So these are the following differences in series and parallel circuit. Same current flows in series, current divides in parallel. In
Hmm.
series circuit, components are arranged in a line. In parallel circuit, components are arranged in parallel. When resistors are put in series, voltage across each resistor is different, or you can say divided. And when resistors are put in parallel, voltage across each resistor is same. Resistor you can take, or bulb also you can take. If one component breaks down, whole circuit will burn out. In parallel, even if one component does not work, each has its own independent circuit. So this is the advantage. You can see the total voltage is voltage across all the series component, and here total voltage is same across the components in the parallel circuit. So these are the differences between series and parallel. Important difference you have to remember, current same hota hai series mein and voltage is same in parallel. Voltage is divided in series and here current is divided, and the connection part that you have to take. One component breaks and what happens here. Now coming to current electricity, you know, the basic thing of current electricity is charge, and when the charge is in motion, so that is current electricity. Now you know that charge motion may you only consider electron to be in motion, then only current is there. What is the unit of charge? Coulomb. Okay. What is the formula of current? Current is rate of change of charge flowing. Okay, so I is equal to Q by T. Remember this formula, I is equal to Q by T, where Q is charge in coulomb, T is in second, and I is called as current, which is measured in what? What is the unit of current? Ampere. The unit of current is ampere, unit of charge is coulomb, unit of time is second. So 1 ampere is equal to 1 coulomb per second. Okay, then comes resistance, then there is voltage. What is voltage or potential? Work done per unit charge. So W by Q. All these formula we have already done. V is equal to W by Q, and resistance is given by which law is it written over here? R is equal to V by I. Do you remember this law? One law we have
Ohm's
done.
law.
Ohm's law.
Yes, Ohm's law. So Ohm's law gives you the relationship between voltage and current, and it gives you an expression for resistance, which is R is equal to V by I. Now, what is the unit of resistance? Everything is over here. You can see and tell me. What is the unit of resistance? Ohm's law. Yes, Ohm. So unit of resistance is Ohm. SI unit of resistance is Ohm. And resistance formula is rho L by A. That means resistance is directly proportional to L and resistance is inversely proportional to A. That means more is the length, more will be the resistance, and more will be the thickness, lesser will be the resistance. Now, this is also one important question. Write down the factors on which resistance depends. So from this formula, you will remember more is the length, more will be resistance, more will be the thickness, lesser will be the resistance. And third factor is temperature. Yes.
When you give one more, it is like V is equal to E upon Q. What is that?
Which one? Which one, Saklen? V is equal to
E upon Q. E.
E upon Q, you can write, or W upon Q. E is energy and W is work. You know that work and energy are interconvertible, right? So you can write E by Q also, or W by Q. Work and energy are the same thing. Okay, so if you're writing E, mention that E is energy or work done. Okay, so it is better to remember work done, because in the formula, in the derivation, in the definition, we say work done. So W by Q, if you remember. So you can see electric charge. What is it? Electric charge SI unit is coulomb. When it is in motion, it produces electric field. At rest, electric field. Smallest possible charge is electron. What is the charge on electron? 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 19 coulomb. I told you to remember this. And total charge is given as N into E. So that is why in the current formula you have I is equal to NE by T, because Q key value is NE. Plus and minus they have written to depict a positive charge or a negative charge. For magnitude, you don't need to write it. So charge can be positive, negative. Negative means excess electrons. Positive charge means they have loss of electron, means deficiency of electrons. So charge is also a scalar quantity. I told you what is scalar and vector. So now you know it is a scalar quantity. You can add directly. Okay, and this formula is, what is it? It is called as Coulomb's law. That means force between two charges is given by K Q1 Q2 by R square. Okay. Okay, electric potential, or you can say V. What is it? It is amount of work done. Now you have written the formula also. Potential or voltage is equal to W by Q. So same formula. Potential is the amount of work needed to bring a unit charge from infinity to a specific point against an electric field. Okay. So this is the definition. Formula is W by Q. Unit is volt, and how it is measured by voltmeter. Okay, current is measured by ammeter, potential or voltage is measured by voltmeter. How voltmeter is connected in a circuit and how ammeter is connected in a circuit? Who will tell this? How is ammeter connected in a circuit and how is voltmeter connected? They are not connected in the same fashion, right? Because ammeter measures current and voltmeter measures voltage. So anyone remember?
Ma'am, ammeter is close to the positive terminal of the battery.
So how it is connected? In series or parallel? See, connection is two types, series and parallel, right? So how?
Volt is connected in parallel
Yes.
and
Ammeter is
connected in series.
very good, Safia. Ammeter is always connected in series because same current should flow through ammeter to find out the value of current. Okay, so you have to remember this. Ammeter is connected in series and voltmeter is connected in parallel. Okay, so suppose if there is a bulb, and I have to find the voltage across the bulb. How will I find it out? Suppose you have this bulb connected in a circuit. This is a bulb cross में. PPT में I'm not able to write. Let me show you in this. Let me show you on the whiteboard how do we connect it, because this is very important to know. How do we connect ammeter and voltmeter in a circuit? Suppose this is a bulb. Pata nahi what is happening. Sometimes this pen doesn't work. So. So parallel means I have to connect it like this. This is a bulb, okay? So I have to connect the voltmeter. You have to make a circle. My pen is not making circle correctly. So this is a voltmeter. It should not go outside. So this is a voltmeter connected like this in a circuit, and this should be a battery. So if I want to measure the voltage of the bulb, this is connected parallelly, okay? And if you want to find out the current flowing through this bulb, I will connect this ammeter in series, and battery is as it is, cell is as it is. So this is the type of connection. Switch and all I have not made. So ammeter, because same current is flowing through it and it will flow through ammeter, I'll get the value of current in this ammeter. And voltage, I want to measure what voltage is there. Voltage is between the 2 points. So I have to connect a voltmeter in parallel. This is called as parallel connection. This is series. So ammeter is connected in series and voltmeter is connected in ammeter series connection, and voltmeter always in parallel. Voltmeter is always in parallel. Whatever voltage you have to measure, whatever appliance you have to connect with voltmeter, you have to connect it in parallel. Because I want to measure the voltage of this bulb, I will connect voltmeter in parallel with the bulb. I have to measure the current flowing through the bulb, I'll connect an ammeter in series with the bulb, and I'll get the value in this device. So is it clear to you?
Yes.
Ma'am, I did not understand how to connect.
How to connect it? Series
The
connect.
ammeter and voltmeter.
See, series means in line and parallel means branching, right? So voltmeter has to be connected in parallel and ammeter has to be connected in series to measure the current, because same current flows in series. Remember when we just now we did series and parallel connection, just check your notes. Current remains same in which type of connection? In series? In series current remains same. So I want to measure current. So that is why I'll connect ammeter in series, because I want the same current flowing through ammeter. That is why I want to measure it. Okay. And voltmeter, voltage is same in voltmeter. So that is why when I have to measure, voltage is same in parallel connection. So whenever I have to measure voltage, I will connect voltmeter in parallel. Is it clear? This is the reason why do we connect in series and in parallel.
What is FE?
What is it, Saklen? What is
FE.
F?
Yes, ma'am. FE is equals to KQ1, KQ2 upon R2.
Electrostatic force. That is the force between two charged particle Q1 and Q2. Okay. So that is your electrostatic force connected between two charged particles. Okay. So till here it is clear. So this is your formula for potential, W by Q or E by Q. Usually we write W by Q because it is work done per unit charge. Okay, so that is why W by Q. If you are writing E, whenever you are writing formula, always mention what defines what. Now what is it? Electric current. Current unit is ampere. It is rate of flow of charge, and it is expressed as amount of charge flowing in a particular time, or rate of flow of charge. Anything you can write for current. If it is asked what is current, how it is denoted, what is its SI unit. So simple one statement answer is required, but you should write the key terms. Like if you are writing rate of flow of electric charge, that is also correct. You will write amount of flow of charge per unit time, that is also correct. Okay, so anything you can write. And what is a mathematical formula of current? Q by T, where Q can be written as N into E, where E is the charge on electron. So everything should be defined. Ammeter measures the current and how it is connected. Ammeter is connected in series, which I just now told you. And Q is the net charge. What is charge? Charge that flows across any conductor. And current is a continuous path, then it is called as circuit. Current in a continuous path is called as circuit. So you can see that it is denoted by letter I, rate of flow of electric charges, or you can say amount of flow of charge per unit time. Anything you can write. Charge per unit time is also correct, because formula says charge per unit time. So total charge flowing per unit time is called as current. That is also correct. Formula is this. Okay, once again, I think I have written this. Same thing, this we have done already. Now coming to resistance. Now what is resistance? Resistance is the property of a conductor which resist means oppose. So which opposes the flow of electric current through it. Unit is ohm. Resistance is shown like this here in the circuit. Tell me, Amina, these resistance are connected in series or parallel?
Parallel.
Yeah, and in this?
Series.
These resistances are connected in series. So in series, you can see I only will flow through all the resistances, whereas 9 is getting divided into 5 parts, because all of them will have 1/5 of 9 volt. Okay, so voltage gets divided, but current is same. And here voltage is ES only across both the resistances, but current is different, I1 and I2. Both the resistance will have different current flowing through the resistances in parallel. Now you know that this is actually happening in case of resistance. You know, these are blue color are free electrons and these are ions from which the electrons have come out. The free electrons have come out from the atom. Okay. So these electrons, what is the cause of, anyone remembers what is the cause of resistance? How resistance occur in the,
Ma'am,
yeah.
because of the immobile ions, ma'am. Because they
Collision is the important term. Because of the collision of electrons with the immobile
They
ion.
dash it. That's why
That is
it
why the
forms
flow
resistance.
is hindered. The flow of electron is hindered. Why? Because when they are accelerating towards the positive terminal of the cell, they get collided with these immobile ions, which are bigger in size, and then their velocity decreases. Again, they get accelerated, again, they get collided, and then velocity decreases. So these are the hindrances. These collision are the hindrances, or they oppose the flow of free electron. So that is why this give rise to this thing, resistance. Now this is very important. What are the factors which affect resistance? So first one is conductivity. Second, I told you na formula rho L by A. So length of the conductor, longer the length, higher will be the resistance. Thickness means bigger the thickness or area, lesser will be the resistance. And last one is temperature. More is the
Higher,
temperature, yeah,
the
more
more
will
the
be the resistance. Why? Because more and more collision will take place. So that is why. So these are the important points you have to remember. Temperature, thickness, length, and conductivity are the factors on which resistance depend. And how it depends? More is the length, higher is the resistance, more is the thickness, lesser is the resistance. Okay. So thick wire has less resistance, more is the temperature, higher will be. Now coming to the Ohm's law, which is very important law in electricity. Validity is, you have to mention Ohm's law is valid only at a particular condition. In which particular condition Ohm's law is valid? You remember? I underlined so many times.
At constant temperature.
Excellent, Muazzam. At constant temperature, only Ohm's law is valid. So whenever it is asked the statement of Ohm's law, you have to mention that current through a conductor is always directly proportional to the potential difference across the two ends of the conductor at constant temperature. Okay. So you have to, validity is physical state like temperature, strain remains unchanged. So you have to mention that at constant temperature, current is directly proportional to potential difference, or V is equal to IR. So
And
R
it's only valid till when it says
when the temperature is constant, yes. Otherwise, see, we have just now read, because we have taken R as proportionality constant. Now, when you vary temperature, your resistance vary. Just now in the previous slide, we studied that temperature varies, resistance also increases if temperature increases. But we have kept resistance constant over here. So that is why this law is valid only when temperature is constant. And which type of graph you get between V and I? Between V and I, you get a straight line graph. You have to show the graph if it is asked. The Ohm's law, the statement, the graph. This thing is important, and they will ask this only. And or they might ask, when voltage is increased 2 times, what happens to current when temperature is constant? So voltage increased 2 times, current will also increase 2 times. Okay. Because V is directly proportional to I and R is constant. What is the unit of R? R is resistance.
resistance.
So unit of R is Ohm.
Ohm.
Yeah. You can see the circuit diagram of Ohm's law. See, voltmeter is connected in parallel, ammeter is connected in series, and this is your circuit diagram. Okay. Battery can be connected any way, plus either minus either, or minus either plus either. Any way you can connect the battery. Okay. Is it clear? The circuit diagram of Ohm's law, the
Yes,
graph
ma'am.
of Ohm's law, the statement of Ohm's law, and the formula of Ohm's law. Okay. and the
V
unit of
equals to
resistance.
I.
You have to write V proportional to I or V is equal to IR. So I think that is all in, this is full gist of whatever we have done. So this is not required. So I have done full thing, all the topics I have covered. So this much only is there in your syllabus. So these topics just understand in detail and you'll be getting questions on that. Okay, so any doubt is there? Anything that you have not understood or you want to understand again? Any revision? No?
No,
Sure?
ma'am.
Okay. So how many of you have decided? Abdullah, you told Moza. Mudabbir, are you giving science paper?
Yes, ma'am. I am also giving.
Yamina is giving. Farhana is giving. Saklen is giving. Ahmad is also giving. Humaira, are you giving
I'm
science?
also giving.
Okay. So that means whole class is giving. Muneeb, are you giving? Muneeb didn't tell me. Muneeb, are you giving science paper?
Ma'am, I said no, first only I am giving.
Acha, you are also giving. Okay, I forgot. Okay, so everyone is giving. All the best. Prepare well. Just simple paper will be there. Direct question, statement question, formula, everything you remember, and you'll be able to do. Okay, fine. Chalo. See you in the maths class now. Bye, everyone.
Bye.